Right, so you've seen me do plenty of hare hunting back in South Africa with the Daystate Wolverine, with the Air Arms Ultimate Sporter Extra, both 22 caliber air rifles, but this time I've got a 22 caliber rimfire, and I'm not in South Africa, I'm in the UK. So while I've done a lot of hare hunting, I've never actually shot any rabbits, because the only species of rabbit that we get in South Africa is the riverine rabbit, which is one of the most endangered species in the world. Obviously we can't hunt the riverine rabbit, so if there was any chance of me getting some rabbit hunting in my life, it's going to be in the UK. So I'm over here in the UK, got a CZ452, it's a classic 22 rimfire, and I've got the good old night sight on top. We're going to be heading out in the vehicle, traditional UK rabbit hunting, driving around the fields at night and taking out a few bunnies. I'm pretty optimistic about my chances. It is full moon, so I think it might be quite tough. When it's full moon, the rabbits can see you coming from a mile away. When it's darker, not so much, but as soon as we spot them, it's all lights off, just the night sight on, and we should be able to take our time with the shot, because the rabbits aren't afraid of the infrared beam because they can't see it. So looking forward to it. Should be a good night. Let's get straight to it. Kai's behind the wheel tonight, and I'm going to be shooting out of the passenger seat window. Now, some might say that by shooting from a vehicle we aren't really giving the rabbits a fair chance. But this isn't hunting for sport, this is a pest control job. The aim is not necessarily to provide ourselves with a challenging hunt. The aim is to shoot as many rabbits as possible. So I spot my first rabbit of the night, and the CZ puts it down right on the spot. There he is. Oh my word, it's a black one. Well, that's interesting. I've never seen anyone shoot a black rabbit on camera on any of the hunting videos I've seen on YouTube, so it's quite strange that one of my first rabbits I've shot here is a black one. But just to be clear, this is no pet. Apparently, according to Kai, there are a few black rabbits that run around here, so very interesting, but I'm glad I picked one up. Solid shot. These rabbits tend to sit along the hedgerows on the edge of the fields, so we focus on these areas as we drive along. Often we'll spot a rabbit, but it will dart away long before we can take the shot. Unfortunately, the bright moon is not on our side tonight. But every now and again, the stars just align. Awesome. Smashed him. We spot another eye glinting at us from the hedgerow, and I make the opportunity count. Quite happy with that. Basically, it looks like I nicked the top of his head, but with a rimfire hollow point, it doesn't matter really where you hit him in the head, he's going to go straight down. And that shaking is just a bit of nerves, but I'm happy with that. It's the third rabbit down. Let's see what else we can do. Many opportunities go a-begging, with the rabbits just spooking long before we can even spot them. Another factor that we had against us was the fact that range estimation with infrared equipment is incredibly difficult. A rabbit might look like he's 40 meters away, but in reality he's at 70, and you end up shooting right below his head. But although the night sight makes range finding a little challenging, there are other areas where it really shines, no pun intended. The picture quality is incredibly clear, even at hundreds of meters, and that is a huge help when trying to identify a target. And the rabbit doesn't see the beam at all. With the camera's infrared mode turned off, this is all you see. 5 faint little pink lights glowing from the unit. The next shot is from nice and close, and I make no mistake, it's one more bunny in the bag. There's a bit of error in communication between the cameraman and myself for the next one, and he films the wrong rabbit, but nonetheless, it's another one down, and I'm very happy. Now this one there's the vehicle right over there. Don't know if you can see behind me, but that is literally probably just over 10 meters away, so we're really close. the scope wouldn't even focus, but I put the crosses on him and pulled the trigger and he went straight down. Now there was a second one that was along the hedge line quite a bit further away, and unfortunately the camera was focused on the second rabbit and not this one, so this one wasn't caught on camera, but it doesn't matter, we've got him in the bag, that's what we came here for, and we'll take him back to the vehicle and keep at it. And just as we were about to call it a night, we spot one more rabbit a fair distance away, and it's another good headshot. Fantastic. We might have to call it a night there because the vehicle's completely out of fuel. We don't want to run out of fuel out here on the field at night and have to get someone to bring us new fuel, so might have to call it a night now, but it's good to get the last rabbit just before we end. So let's go collect him up, see where I hit him. He's got some blood coming out of his ears and his eyes and his mouth, so definitely hit him right in the head. And with although it's a subsonic round, it's a hollow point, so the expansion will do a very, very effective job. I know it's not air rifle hunting, but it's close enough. It's a tiny little 22 caliber bullet. It's not air, it's powder, but you get the idea. It's very effective. Let's take him back. Right, so Kai's decided to get out the driver's seat and show his face. What do you think, Kai? Do you think it's a decent night rabbiting?
Yeah, it's well, the conditions have not been great today. We've got a full moon, we have full view, and the ground is really quite wet, so we slip around everywhere. You know, it's not bad, but on this ground, on a good night, you can get 30 or 40 in a couple of hours. But we've only been out for about 45 minutes, and we've got 6, so you've got a nice little selection, some good shooting as well. When you first pick up the night sight and a 2.2 LR, to do the range finding at night is very, very difficult. So I think you adapted it very well. As you've seen, there is a healthy amount of rabbits here, but they do provide some good food for the pot, and obviously the farmer doesn't like them here because they're obviously tearing up the ground and eating all the new crops. So you've got to try to keep the population down and do a good job of them. And then these go straight to the game dealer just down the road, which is my game dealer for my business actually. So
great
it all works out quite well.
Fantastic. Well, I can tell you one thing: these are a lot cuter than the hares we have back in South Africa. They are probably about half the size or a third of the size of the hares I'm used to shooting. They're a little bit more difficult to spot. Their eyes are a fair bit smaller, they don't reflect as well. But it doesn't really matter to me that this isn't a 30 or 40 rabbit night. We didn't shoot a whole lot. It might have been a fairly small bag by this property standards, but my aim was to come here and just experience what a rabbit hunt is like and to just shoot some rabbits. So I've achieved that, and I'm very, very happy. Yep, all my aims achieved, and I got to shoot what I'm going to call the Night Fury. The first black rabbit I've seen. I've seen 1 or 2 black rabbits at home that are people's pets, but it's the first wild black rabbit I've seen, so I'm happy with that. As far as efficiency goes, I don't know if you can get much more efficient than this setup right over here. This is a 22 Rimfire, the CZ452, which is a classic .22, and the night sight, is this the night sight Eagle?
Yeah, this is the Eagle, this one, yep.
Okay, this is the big boy, this night sight. I think this one was designed for the foxes. This one is supposed to be able to see out to 500 meters, and although we don't need the 500 meters for this particular type of hunting, it's nice to buy one of these because if you go out foxing, you can just put it on a different rifle and use it for the foxes. So I've got this exactly the same night sight back home, the Eagle, and shooting with subsonics with a 22 Rimfire is great because if you do miss the shot, then it's very likely that the rabbit won't even run away and you can take a follow-up shot, whereas when you're shooting with supersonic ammunition, the crack is quite loud and there's a much higher chance that your quarry is going to run away. But extremely efficient setup. I know it's not the air rifles you're used to seeing on my channel, but I'm sure you can forgive me just this one time and enjoy it. I don't think we would have got as many, nowhere near as many, if we'd used the 12 foot-pound air rifles. And I don't think I'd feel safe, to be quite honest, using the 12 foot-pound air rifles just because of the whole range finding element of it and being uncertain about your ranges. If you're uncertain about your ranges, you don't feel comfortable taking a shot with a 12 foot-pound gun, and even with a 30 foot-pound gun I probably wouldn't risk it. So, but I'm happy with the night. I think let's call it a night. Put these in the truck, take them home.
We've got to paunch them first.
Yes, okay. Great stuff.
So yes, we've got to go paunch these, and then they'll go straight to the game dealer, otherwise it'll start overheating, and you don't want to spoil the meat. So it is all meat, and it will all be used, which is great. You know,
that's what we stand for.
It's what we're here for. So brilliant. So should we get this done?
Let's do it. So another fantastic day of hunting comes to an end, and that's one more thing ticked off on my bucket list. In the next episode, we'll be doing something a little bit different. We'll be heading to London and taking a look at some of the pest species that plague the concrete jungles. Subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.